Welcome to Brawlhalla!
Hey everybody, it's Is it on? How does this thing work again? Is that it? Are we? Hey, technology. How's it going, everybody?
Custom.
Hope everybody is having a good evening. Getting ready to play some Brawlhalla. Said tonight that I was only going to play Thatch, so that I can prove out just how low along the way I think he is. How's everybody doing tonight? Hello, I'm Tybo, Magma Bob, Pab 9AB, Retax 330, Veil Knight. You like Nuo 1? And Zaholi Pale. Good to see everybody here. We're gonna go ahead and I guess we're gonna play some matches with Tybo, since he was the first to arrive. Tybo knows the drill. He knows what's up. Oh, Thatch. You should be good, but your stats just don't do you well in this current iteration. The slowest hack speed is really what's hurting him now that he's got, like, low movement compared to the rest of the sword users. So I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming tonight. I'm kind of thinking about calling it after about 2 hours, just because I've got some family things to take care of. Oh, he went for the move select. Oh, and then I blow myself up. It's alright, we're warming up. You know how the first match goes. It's always interesting, the first match. Whew! You know, Pab, if you want to hop into your man, embarrassing or not, I'm always willing to play with anybody who watches the stream, so that is entirely up to you, my friend. Entirely up to you. Especially if I could stop, like, whiffing half of my moves, that would be really helpful. I don't know what's going on with my ability to control my guy today. I missed 4 dive kicks because I was just pushing the button wrong. Alright, Tybo taking it early. Veil Knight, do you still not have a copy of Brawlhalla, man? I could have swore I saw you, streaming it earlier. Was that a different Veil Knight? Alright, let's do this again. Try not to fail. I could have swore that I saw someone saying on Twitch earlier. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I know I was watching one streamer at work today. What was his name? Something about shoes. Seemed like a pretty cool guy. But unfortunately I was at work, so I couldn't get any matches in. Thank you, Bomb. Oh god, Ada. Oh, Thatch. Ugh. Ugh. God, I'm so terrible at this game. Oh my god.
Player 1 wins.
Oh my god, Thatch.
Thatch.
This is a good warm-up. So later tonight, probably in about 20 to 30 minutes or so. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so in about 20 to 30 minutes or so, I'm gonna be having Ruin on here, and we're gonna be talking a little bit about the competitive meta, trying to get some more opinions in here besides just mine. So Ruin's agreed to hop on Skype with me and kind of chat for a little bit. So if you guys have questions about the competitive aspect of 1v1, for those of you who don't know Ruin, he's another top 25 player or so, and he is a pretty cool dude. I've played him multiple times. It's been a long time. Viewer of the stream. Oh, come on, Dodge. If you could do some things when I ask you to. Ugh. So, Pab, I have no idea when the mission mode of Brawlhalla is going to come out. But I do know it's something that they're working on, so I don't know. Look at how pathetically short the range is on this thing. This move in 1.1 used to go like 3 times that distance. And now look at it, it's just gimped. So bad. Ah! You would think that Thatch would at least be able to do like a decent unarmed game because he has the same attack speed as Scarlet, right? But I don't know what it is about Thatch. It just seems like he loses, like, everywhere. All the time. Of course, it would help if, for some reason, I think I'm playing on, like, my worn-out Xbox controller. That might explain some things. Oh yeah, the standing neutral on the sword doesn't hit behind you anymore, which makes it so much less useful. Ugh. What's up, Miller Mana? How are you doing tonight, man? I'm gonna see where my other controller is because something is not acting correct with this one. And this is what happens when I play games with my son and then I forget to plug the right one back in. Sorry guys, 1 second while I investigate where the heck my controller is. Here we go. Alright, hopefully this goes a little bit better. Hopefully. Oh, it'll all be gravy once my fight stick gets patched in next patch. That's why I'm excited for the next patch. Not because of new features, but because my fight stick's gonna get added.
3, 2, 1, brawl!
Okay. What the heck? Either I'm really rusty after like not playing this game for 2 minutes. It's been like 2 days since I played this. Oh, come on, man. That was so mean, Tybo. No, Thatch is underpowered, and Compton and I were arguing earlier on YouTube about weapon viability and Thatch. And Compton was trying to say that guns and swords are the best weapons. And I was like, dude, swords are so awful. Like, if you haven't been playing swords, which Compton is not, like, swords have been nerfed so many times since... Alright then. Swords have been nerfed so many times. Like, basically every patch, the swords have gotten a nerf since the game went into closed beta. Like, they are a complete shadow of their former selves, and just terrible in every way that you can think of. I mean, they're slow as shit, they have terrible range, like, they don't beat anything. They're not a very good weapon to throw. They have half the hitbox of the other weapons, like the spear and the lance. They lose out to guns in both reach and damage. And they're just painful to use right now. So, yeah, Retax, I agree that guns are pretty awesome right now. But, when you look at swords on paper, like when you compare the moves that they lose to and the ones that they don't, like, swords are just all around kind of a mediocre weapon. Like, compared to how they used to be. Dude, swords are like half the speed that they used to be. Like, that's my point. Like, the swords have... Oh, come on. How did that hit? Oh. Seriously? Yeah, I got a win.
Player 2 wins.
I don't think so, Retax. I think that the problem with swords is that if the other guy has good positioning, there's always every weapon has something that beats the sword. The only thing that the sword consistently beats is if the other guy screws up. Excuse me, don't know what the hell that was. If the other guy screws up. So, like, or if you completely wait with your timing. And so...
3, 2, 1.
It's like... You know, so the sword neutral, for instance, it loses out to the lance neutral, and it loses out to the unarmed neutral and speed. It loses out to Katars at close range. So right there, that's sword moves that where the sword just completely loses in 3 separate situations with 1 move, right? Against 3 different weapons. So you're always going to be fighting someone who has one of those 3 weapons, and the sword always loses. Let's look at the sword air tilt. The sword air tilt loses out to the hammer air tilt. It loses out to the let's see. It loses out to the spear and reach. It loses out to the guns and reach. The only thing that the sword has is more damage, and that's only if both hits connect. Let's see. The sword recover is probably the easiest one to use out of all the recover moves. It's still probably one of the most useful, but it doesn't have the most priority. Like, you will get hit out of it with an unarmed dive kick. The sword used to have the best hit confirms in the game, and it no longer has any of those. So it no longer hit confirms reliably. This used to hit confirm beautifully every time until they messed with it. Now it only works like half of the time, and only if your character is fast enough to follow up. So like Thatch, for instance, doesn't have any follow-ups at all with the sword because he can't get to it fast enough because of his slow attack speed. It doesn't put him close enough to the hit range. Let's see. The sword heavies right now, until the sword characters get reworked, are completely useless. They're probably the worst heavies in the game. Like, they're just awful. They lose out to everything and they're super punishable. And yeah, let's see. What else? The sword down light is pretty good, but everybody expects it now, so at least in like the competitive side of things, it's not very helpful. Even though it is a good move, like, and you can still stop it just by like throwing your weapon up. The sword does like below average damage compared to every other weapon. It has the least amount of damage on its neutrals. Least amount of damage on its heavy attacks as well when you compare it to like the sword or the lance or the guns even. So, yeah, sword's just a terrible freaking weapon.
Player 2 wins.
Like, the sword was great 4 or 5 patches ago. The best character right now is Lucian, like hands down, Miller Mana. Lucian is fantastic. Like, Lucian is by far the strongest character in the game right now. Katars and guns have, between the two of them, they have the most damage and the fastest knockouts, and the most priority at the distances that they're both designed for. So at close range, like, nothing beats out Katars. Like, nothing. Nothing beats it out. Oh, come on, Thatch. Oh god, I miss the old sword so hard. I miss it so much. Back when you could like play sword with any character and it didn't matter. Yeah, you gotta put in some work right now to actually win with the Tori. Like, the Tori was really good back when the sword was really good, but ever since the stat rework with 1.72, like, it just doesn't matter anymore. It's, like, you have to put in so much effort to win as Satori now, especially against characters like Lucian or Roland, who have high armor, because, like, Hattori does garbage damage now, and her force is non-existent, so you have to basically keep hitting somebody until they're about to die. Oh, come on. And then avoid damage the entire time, and Hattori's not as fast as she used to be either, so... Dude, Magma Bob, you're the second person today who told me to invent a time machine so that I could do Brawlhalla stuff. The other guy was saying so that I could play both Path of Exile and Brawlhalla tonight. But, almost got air tilted. Woo! That was close.
Player 2 wins.
Man. Alright, let's do one more, and then we're going to go ahead and try and get Ruin in here. We're going to play some matches with Ruin, and he and I are going to talk about some competitive stuffs. I just got to turn on Skype. Oh. Skype time.
Three, two, one, brawl!
Woo! Well, you like no one. I would turn down the quality of stream, but the trouble is that I have a 720p minimum rule because I upload these things to YouTube afterwards, and then like another 50 or so people watch them. And I know that they will not be pleased watching it in 480p. So for me, it's enough of a sacrifice that I can only stream in 720 because when I record footage, I normally do it in 1080. So what I could ask you to do instead is to, you know, invest in better internets, because, you know, better internet. Not to be a dick or anything, but sorry, man. Most useless heavy in the game. Smallest hitbox. Impossible to hit with. Can't even punish dodges because its active range is so garbage. Or here, let's try this one. Oh, hey, look, I'll just sit there and... Well, you know, I would love to get partnered on Twitch, but unfortunately to do that, I need like 500 people watching me instead of 15, so I'm not there yet. Hopefully one day. One day, maybe when Brawlhalla releases, I'll get that many people checking me out. But until then, it's going to be kind of small and just like this, so. But I appreciate you watching it all, man. I know it's a pain in the ass when you can't get a good connection. I once lived on satellite internet and played World of Warcraft for an entire year with a 300 millisecond ping bouncing off of a satellite from Russia, so I know all about the evil internets. Oh god. Dude, the breakdance is terrible, Retax. It's terrible. I can count on one hand one hand, because I stopped using it after that amount of time. There we go.
Player 2 wins.
I wish the sword gun character didn't suck too. Alright. But, you know, who knows? Maybe they'll be able to find a good solution for Thatch once we get his signature moves. All right. So, let's go ahead and get Ruin in here. I'm going to try to grab him on flippin' Skype, so we can all hear whatever his voice sounds like. Ah, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and give Ruin a call. Go away, Skype notifications. We don't want you. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going alright. Let me turn off the stream so it doesn't lag.
Let me churn up you.
Alright.
Keep talking.
Yeah, what's up? So, I'm gonna join your game now, so we can play while we talk as well.
Sweet.
Alright.
All right. Well, I swore I was gonna play Thatch all night, so you can
All
just
night? Alright.
laugh and destroy me.
No, I'll try some characters I've been wanting to get better at as well. So,
Nice.
like
Hope-
Cassidy, those gun specials, man.
Oh, they're too good. They're too
They are.
good.
They're really good. They cover a lot of options that other characters before the update weren't able to cover.
Yeah. Yeah, big time.
That's the thing with a lot of the new specials that are coming out
3,
is
2,
they cover so many options that you just weren't able to cover before.
Yeah, because now it's like, so, like, let's demonstrate this. So the way
Yep.
that I think about this is, so there's the one where, like, with the guns anyway, you can't come from this direction anymore.
Yeah.
You can't ground pound it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just totally useless.
I don't
right?
even have to time it.
So
It's
you can't
just,
do that. I can't. So let's see. What
Yeah,
else? What else can Cassidy stop? There's that one, right?
Yeah.
So basically, like bad spacing. My favorite thing is when like people mess up the dive kick and punishing with that, right?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then the other one.
The down light is like, or the down heavy is just, I don't know. It covers like the space that the forward one covers pretty much, just on both sides. So if someone's like right on top of you, I don't know.
Yeah, one of the other things I like using it for is edge guarding.
Oh,
if
so
you
like
do
that?
it, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
it just blows people up.
I didn't think of it like that. Said I'm not a Cassidy player, so
Yeah, that's kind of how I've been using it. And then
Okay.
the hammer thing is fun too because it's got the dive kick protection if you ever get a hammer.
yeah, I'm not. The
So
other
you-
thing is, well, I was about to say guns right now are like so strong. Just everything they do.
Yeah, well, it's because they're really good at preventing stuff, like especially that down light because it just stops everything. The
Yeah.
air down light. I'm dive kicking.
Oh, and then it just grabs you. Or I'm just horrible with Cassidy. That's fine.
Timing's a little weird.
No, got it.
But what's fun is that like you can do two within the course of a dodge. So like if I dodge through one, you can churn and
I'll
catch
turn
me
to
on
the other one?
side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, the other
Stop
thing
shooting
that
range.
I've noticed the down hammer move with her. Yeah. So with that, like basically if I try to dodge through you and you're about to do it, it'll catch me on the other side
Okay.
because the hitbox goes behind you. And then let's say like I do this, I like dive kick or whatever, and then like dodge.
Yeah,
like-
it'll just catch you.
Yeah, because it'll even if I spot dodge, it'll basically screw me up. So that's why Cassidy's really awesome right
Yeah.
now. Like her signatures made her amazing, and like
Yeah.
the stat rework I think really helped her out.
Yeah. Bombs. And that, like I said, I can't really overstate how just strong guns are.
Yeah, this move with the guns right now I think it's ridiculous. Like
Yeah. It's one thing that it catches so much. Like it'll catch uppercuts if you time it right. It'll catch anything that's below you, basically. And then it also does 40 damage when you hit with it.
yeah,
So,
the damage is nuts. Like I think it would be like okay if they nerfed the damage to like 10 damage or something like that, because then people wouldn't overuse it so much. It would just be more of like a safety move. But even then, like, it's really annoying when you're like trying to uppercut somebody and all they're doing is this all day.
So anyone that's fought me recently within like the last few days has definitely been feeling like just the gun spacing and zoning, because that's all I've been doing.
Just,
'Cause it's so effective.
yeah.
Just playing Lucian and just spacing them out with guns. I don't even use the guitars on them really. It's just guns. And it's like, I don't enjoy playing like that very much. It wins so effectively, and it's so safe that...
Yeah, it is really safe, and I think that's a part of the reason why like a lot of people are playing gun characters right now, like more so than you know, like Hattori, where it used to be like her speed made her have safer options. But I mean,
Yeah.
Lucian in that grand tournament, man.
Yeah. It was partially the grand tournament and then the ranked matches I had afterwards where like I couldn't get past people just spacing me out.
Yeah.
Because I was using the sword on Hattori and I couldn't get past the gun tilt-airs. So I just decided to switch characters because I couldn't do it. So
So, tell me your thoughts on Roland right now, because Roland is like an interesting character, because he's on paper he should be really strong right now,
Alright.
but
So Roland, during the patch before they put the movement back in, he was by far the best character.
oh, you mean in
like
7.0?
Yeah, 7.0, he was by far the best character. Like, no one came close to Roland, in my opinion.
Right, because the armor like just did so much for him before they brought those values down in 1.2 patch, right?
Yeah, because they basically made everyone the same speed, and then Roland gained the most from that.
Yeah, because he was always so slow to begin with.
Yeah, I think he's decent. He's definitely not like the best. He definitely takes work
Yeah.
to win with him, just because of he's slower and you can really feel it. So sometimes you just gotta tank a lot of hits to get in. You know, he's a character that's built for that. But
Yeah.
once you do get in, you can if you can keep them close on somewhere like a Twilight Grove, where you can bounce them off the wall and keep your combo going just because they bounce off and then come back to you, it makes it a little bit better. But overall, he's a hard character to win with, I'd say right now, just because of how slow he is.
Yeah,
You can't play rushdown with him with the sword.
Yeah, people have to be willing to like come at you, basically.
Yeah.
And then I don't think the sword is as good at countering as it used to be. I think like most of Roland's power these days comes from the lance, but
Yeah.
and that amazingly good signature move he has that just blocks everything.
Yeah. Because it dodges him. Oh god, not that. It dodges him back and then it goes up into the air, so you can make people miss and they can't dodge around it. So it's really good. It's still you need some speed, or else you just have to take everyone's hits as they dance around you.
Yeah, it's something where like the whole stats portion of this game, I've always been kind of like sketchy on as a game mechanic. You know, like I've always felt like anything beyond like HP and, you know, it should be like kind of negligible. I don't know. What do you think about this whole stat system?
Well, the stats, like, it makes the characters more unique, but it definitely gives some of them more of an advantage than others. Like, a character like Thatch, who on paper should be like really good, just doesn't quite cut it because of just the way his stats are put around.
Yeah.
Like his attack speed and things like that. Because he has guns and swords, and those are two of like my personal favorite weapons. I heard you talk about the sword a little bit. You seem to have a slight distaste for it at the moment.
Oh man, well see, so for the longest time I played Hattori when I first started, and then when I met Misfit, he was playing Hattori, so I switched to Ada for a little bit, and then I started playing Roland as soon as he was patched into the game. And Roland was just, I loved him to death because the sword stuff in 1.1 was so good that so long as you played smart, you could always win because the sword did great damage. It had the only hit confirm in the game at the time, and you could just do amazing things with it. But ever since 1.1, they have nerfed, they have nerfed the hell out of it. Like, every patch has either nerfed or changed up the sword since 1.1. And it's just like I was saying on YouTube today when Compton was trying to be like, no, sword's OP. Like the sword is basically, in my opinion, like a shadow of its former self. You know, like it's just.
So I get where you're coming from, but like I've never played with the sword in the state that you saw it in, and I've basically just been playing since like since it's been about where it is now.
Yeah.
So oh my goodness, where'd the sword come from? Okay.
Yes, I'm so good at this game. Look at those mad item setups.
Yeah. Oh man. So I've played since its current iteration pretty much, and it still has strong like combo like setups that you can get out of them. It's just if you do try to get out of them, there's always an option that you can follow up, especially on a character that's as fast as Hattori. So it's like you still have the pressure there that you sound like you had before with like the downlight into a recovery move or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like that's still there at white health. That's still a combo that you can do, and there's no
on
frames.
Hattori. It doesn't seem
Yes.
to work on that. We should test this.
Okay, we'll test it. But I know, like I was saying, I was a Hattori main for a long time, so
Yeah.
a lot of my experience with swords is from Hattori.
Let's get it. Let me get a sword. We'll look at this real quick. So people are asking in chat how Orion was the most recent one, and yeah, what do you think about Orion right now?
He doesn't have the weapons that I say are the strongest right now, like the sword and the guns, because I really do. I think the swords are some of the strongest weapons, to be honest, in the moment. So I wasn't able to dodge out of it. It could be my timing is horrible, but I can't dodge out of that.
Yeah, well, I seem to be able to hit the end of recovery, but not the tilt
Yeah.
of white health. The air
Yeah,
tilt.
the tilt doesn't work at white health. That works later. Like it probably worked right now.
I see.
And the up air, no matter when, or the neutral air, I'm sorry. When you use that window for someone to dodge out of it, but it basically as their percent goes up, the combo changes with the swords.
Oh, so this is really funny. The guys in chat are talking about this discussion today on the Steam forums where they were talking to some guy went in and was like, guys, it's not cool to throw the weapons off the edge of the map. It's not honorable to clear the map. And
You
it
gotta
like,
do what you gotta
devolved into all these people like telling him off.
Yeah, well, it's because I mean, everyone does it. You have to do it. Everyone's so good right now that like you need to take. If you have an advantage, you have to take it.
Yeah. No, and I think like for me, it's something that I've been like, hey, map control, like that's a part of the game. Like, do it. And it's funny because originally, like, have you ever heard of this thing called? What's it called? It's called like Serlin's Guide to Winning.
Play to win or whatever.
Yeah. Like that's one of the first topics it covers in that. And like I think that guy wrote it from like a fighting game standpoint. I want to say like he references Street Fighter quite a bit.
Yeah.
But the that whole idea of like, oh yes, it's not honorable to play in certain ways. Well, it's like you're not playing for honor, you're playing for a victory. Like so long as it's within the mechanics of the game, like do it.
Yeah.
It's intended. If
Oh god, that's the way I feel about it. I'll clear the maps. I'm not gonna give somebody a weapon for free, especially someone like you or a misfit. There's not a chance.
yeah, right.
And it's not because I'm being dishonorable or because I don't want you guys to win. That's the whole thing. Of course I don't. I want to win.
Yeah. So Pab's mentioning something in chat about Powerland spam. And you know what? Like the way that I think about spam is the way I think about everything else. If they're spamming it, you know it's coming. It's your fault that you don't know how to beat it. Like half of the game is figuring out what people are going to do next. So if people are just spamming the same move over and over again, you should be able to win every time. You should be excited when somebody's spamming you.
Yeah. It's really easy because it gets predictable, and when someone's predictable, like it's a free win basically.
Yeah. Well, it's like the equivalent is the equivalent for spam. Like the easiest example is like fireball spam or uppercut spam in Street Fighter, right? Do you play Street Fighter at all, or have you played it?
Yeah, I've played it. So
like
Player two
that's
wins.
what the that's what the like common complaint is among people new to the franchise. They go, "Oh man, it's just fireballs all day, and I don't know how to deal with it." Until you learn that all you have to do is like jump over it.
Yeah.
And then the uppercuts, it's like, oh, uppercuts all day, and then you realize all you have to do is block,
That shot.
Yeah.
and then do whatever you want to them. So it's kind of the same thing with this. It's like, you know, if somebody's spamming something, there's a way to beat it. You just haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. So one thing that people can do is like, if you see like one of the tournaments, if you don't see a top player abusing it, there's a way to beat it. Because there's a reason we don't do all of the things like spamming the moves and stuff. That's
With
because
the exception of guns.
yeah. Well, okay. Let's not talk about that. Those are yeah. Yeah. There's always a way to beat something. Now, if you see a top player just using the same move over and over, that move's probably broken. It should get looked at. But you know, not no move in particular. Maybe it's the one that just hit me, but you know, nothing.
Dude, I've been asking for the guns to get nerfed since like 1.3 when they first messed up the sword. That was bad. That was my first call for gun nerfs, and they were like, "Nope. Instead, we're just gonna retool the hitboxes on every weapon instead, and say that it's okay now."
Well, I definitely agree that they need to be looked at right now.
So I think actually what I need to do after this is switch to Lucian. If I start maining Lucian, he'll get nerfed. I think.
Well, me and Misfit have been talking a lot, and we're gonna take care of that for you. Don't worry about it.
All right, sweet. I appreciate that because like I feel like my days of winning things are over now. Like it's I just don't play enough to keep up with you guys.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot more than Misfit lately, and we both agree that Lucian right now is just the
Godly.
best. There's nobody that comes close to him. He doesn't even need new specials. His old ones are good enough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so someone asked earlier about Orion, and
Yeah.
I think Orion is like solidly in the middle of everybody.
He's like Bodvar, I think.
Yeah,
that's
him
kind of
and
what I think about it. Is like Bodvar's just with different weapons.
Yeah, basically. Like if you want to play the power lance and the spear, this is your guy. Because like, it's not like he loses really bad to anybody. It's not like he destroys anybody really bad either. It's just he's just there pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think he's ever gonna be broken. I don't think he's ever gonna be he's just middle of the pack basically. But he has really cool skins. So I mean,
Well, I think like Orion is like I don't know what order the characters got put in the game. I'm assuming it's like their character selection order, so it's like Bodvar, Cassidy, Frax, and so
Yeah.
on. But like to me, like Orion feels like Bodvar's nemesis. Like when lore gets written for this game, I want like Orion to be like the I don't know space hunter from the future that came back to like kill Bodvar. Because that would be awesome. But like to me, like they feel like like Bodvar is the flagship character, and he's got these great kind of like all-arounder stats. I mean, Misfit beat me in GT2 with him, partially because I was playing like crap, but also because it's solid, and it was Misfit. God, don't do that. Not when I can't recover when I'm trying to talk, man.
I know. Like I said, you gotta push every advantage.
Ugh, every
Get 'em.
advantage.
Everyone
Alright.
hears that, right? Get him to talk and then spike him.
So,
It's the strat.
so guns are OP. Is that like the consensus right now? Like guns,
Yeah.
Lucian. Like, do I need to
They're-
retool the tier list and be like version 2? Because I'm half tempted to do that after.
Yeah, I think Lucian is better than everybody else. There's not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm inclined to agree. I am sending out a Brawlhalla King key to King Krunks because he followed and asked nicely.
Nice.
And because I asked the devs for keys and they gave me so many, I kind of want to get rid of them.
Oh wow. All right.
So,
It's the perks of being a streamer.
I guess. Well, the devs have been like unusually nice to me, so
That's good.
I don't know.
Because you put out the awesome guides,
They instigated that. I don't know
Oh,
if
yeah?
people realize this, but I was like, "Hey devs, I made a guide," and they were like, and then I asked them, I was like, "Can I get ranked 1v1 at some point?" And they were like, "Keep making guides and we'll talk." And then they made ranked 1v1 like 3 months
So-
later.
They made you give out all your secrets.
Dude,
then
that's
put out a
exactly
guide.
that is exactly the conversation that transpired. Like almost verbatim. I could go deep back into my Twitter messages and find it.
Nice.
Super deep.
So Lord Vrax is one of the 4 characters that got his new special moveset.
Yeah.
And something about the way it all went together made him worse than he was before.
Yeah.
And it was very confusing because everyone else that got them got these great moves that gave them, all these options, and his just got, like, his one move was so good that it got picked apart, and he didn't gain anything, but he lost a lot from it, it seems. And it's something that's really interesting just because of how strong everyone else got from their new customs, that he ended up being a little bit worse, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that is the general consensus among Vrax players.
Cause, like, look at that.
So tiny. Look at that. There's no range. Like, compare that to the other forward heavy for the Lance, and it's just complete garbage.
Yeah, the range got destroyed on his Lance specials. It only does 10 damage if you hit with it, so it's not even like it's worth it to throw out, unless
So-
they're red and it kills them.
Wow. Yeah, that's just brutal. Like, this
That-
one, is this the same, or has it been retooled?
Nah, it's the same. It does the same thing pretty much. Basically just catches. Oh no, not 10 damage. Look, it didn't. I hit you with. It's a heavy, and it doesn't change your color when you get hit by it.
Yeah.
You're still. You look. It's like pristine white.
Well, I'm expecting that what's gonna happen is we'll get balance, right? It'll happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But I think what happened was, back when they made the decision to start doing all this 1v1 support stuff, because people like me and you showed up on the scene.
Yeah.
Once they decided to do that, and then when they decided to add these signatures, like, it became more important to get all this new content made, as opposed to like perfectly balancing everything. Because until all the signatures are in the game, like, it's just the idea of balancing 100% of the game, I don't think is even possible right now.
Yeah, of course. The one thing Brax does have going for him is that he's using guns. So
This is true. Well, I think the
he got that. He got that.
I think the Lance, like all right, so this, like, just the standing neutral, this
Yeah.
is actually one of the best neutrals in the game, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, it's incredibly good. It catches so much stuff.
It does. I mean, like, and it comes out really fast as well. And it even does knockout. Like, that does more force than the
Yeah.
sword does.
I can't let you hit me with that again. It'll kill me. I'm scared now.
Oh, it's okay. I'll just hit you with one of my nerfed signature moves.
Yeah.
They go like half the distance of what they did normally.
Oh, that. Yeah. Yeah, they don't go anywhere. I don't understand. Like, because the lance is all about like how much it moves you. You know what I mean? And now it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, and I think part of that is because of his attack speed as well. Because, you know, in the patch they changed that whole nice dodge, sir. They changed that whole thing where like attack speed is what dictates how far your moves travel.
Yeah.
And it just, I don't know. He does feel really gimped compared to the standard Lance moveset.
Yeah. I think if they made the down one move more and did more damage, like that'd be helpful. And then like that's cool. That catches dive kicks.
Yeah, I'd keep that one. That one actually it scoops down. Not,
yeah?
not from behind, but
Okay,
if you're, like,
yeah, from like right there, it scoops up.
yeah, which I think is pretty cool because that makes
Yeah.
it essentially like as good as Cassidy's lasso.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the way that the guns are used right now is that you're barely ever on the ground
Yeah.
to use a signature.
That's
So,
true. Unless you're Cassidy, because hers are great. This signature, I actually think, is really cool and could add a ton of just depth to what he, like, just how much you have to think about when you play over X.
Yeah.
It adds so much.
It is.
Once people really figure it out, I think it'll be really good. Like, that's the most interesting signature I think they added.
Yeah, I think that one is interesting. But talking to like Compton, who mains for Axe right now,
Yeah.
said that basically like the problem is that it's really predictable. So like once you get hit with it once, you usually just dodge it. Like the hitbox is pretty small. And because it charges up with a visual indicator, like, which I think looks really cool.
Yeah.
Apparently, like the best use for it is edge guarding.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, you can also cover when people want to go for weapons pretty well with it, because you can just stay away from them and be safe, and you know, cover the weapon. Oh, God.
So one of the other things I wanted to get somebody else's input on, besides my own, is what do you think about Pots and Pans' unarmed Scarlet thing?
He's so good at unarmed. I don't
Like,
I don't know why. It's better than like anyone else that I've played. It's, like, I'm scared.
Is it because it's Scarlet and it's made possible by having double giant weapons? Is it because it's like, I mean,
So, I think a lot of it is the weapon throws. You could tell that it's a huge part of his game to get a weapon and then just use it to like break your spacing or make you dodge. And as soon as you dodge, he punishes it with like a dive kick or some other follow-up, like a punch or something like that. And he does it so well and just so accurate that I got to the point where I just started spot dodging everything or dodging in like random directions, and just to get away from him. And
Right.
he's the only one I have to do it against. Like, I don't understand. It's so good.
like how often do you win against him?
A lot actually.
Because I cannot beat him. Like
Really?
something about what he does.
I think it's because it's so different from what you're used to from when it was just you and Misfit.
A long time ago.
Yeah, like, so, but for me, I beat him, like, he's incredibly good, and there are times where we go even, but if I'm really on, and I can put the pressure down, I beat him, more often than I lose to him.
I think what it is because I think I mentioned this in the video that I made a little bit, but the reason I feel like why I lost to Kreutzberg in the tournament is because he figured me out, and I'm used to figuring other people out, so when someone figures me out, I get confused. Because, like, my playstyle is, at least what I think I'm doing, is to, like, my playstyle is to counter you. Like, that's how I
Right.
think about it. It's like,
Right.
you know, I'm trying to look at chat. You talk for a little bit. What's your playstyle, Ruin?
My playstyle, it used to be zoning people out with swords, aggressive zoning pretty much. So like I'd be in your face like about this distance and using the sword move to like make you like basically push you into the corner. So your only option is to like either go off stage where I have the down air that I can use to spike you, or try to make you approach me and punishing people for approaching me. My playstyle for this patch has evolved into this.
Lots of zoning.
Just shooting people.
Kreutzberg style.
Yeah. And the reason that I changed how I'm playing from like really aggressive zoning to try to get you to make a mistake into just passive zoning and just shooting guns basically is you rack up so much more damage doing that.
Yeah, it's definitely the way that, like, I like to call it Brazilian aggression. the aggressive Brazilian style. Because it's like, and that's basically why I picked Ada against them, because Ada has all of the safe moves, I think, like, comparatively. So, for me, like, that's how I think about countering, countering Lucian is with Ada, because right now she has all this safety stuff.
Yeah. The only thing you gotta be careful of is the low armor.
Right. And
Oh.
that, which will kill
And
you.
that.
That was one of my deaths, I think, for the tournament, was that.
Yeah, I've seen it happen before. It's pretty sad when it happens because it's not the person's fault really.
Nope.
But yeah, basically now I just wait for people to approach or do anything and then shoot them with guns.
Yep, that's like, and that's something I think like they've been ignoring the guns for quite a while because this is always how the guns have been played. But people never really complained about it before, and I'm not sure why. Like, remember when I think it was 1.5, people started playing Hammer Nash,
Okay.
and so like people were complaining about the hammer spam, right?
Oh god, that's not the one I wanted.
You know, the hammer air tilt
Yeah.
span.
Yeah. I don't know. They keep doing things to try to change air tilts, and they're so good still.
Yeah. So somebody's just asking really quick about, was I always a streamer? I actually started like doing video. I'm not sure if a lot of people know this or not, but I started doing like Let's Play videos back in November when Isaac's Rebirth came out, and I accidentally stumbled upon Brawlhalla like 2 weeks into it, and then just got completely hooked. Like completely hooked. Wasn't even sure how it quite happened, and then, well, everybody else knows the rest, I guess. So when did you start playing? What iteration were we on?
The one where everyone started complaining about Hattori. That one. The one right before 1.7, pretty much. It's like 1.62, maybe? Something like that.
Okay, so like about a month ago or so?
Something like that, yeah. It's a lot of the fundamentals transferred over from like playing Smash competitively and stuff like that. So I had a really strong idea of how to play, and just learned like some subtle things about the game. And when I first started, I played Bodvar, and then I switched to Hattori because she was the the cool kids thing in that patch. And then 1.7 came out, and I instantly had a ton of fun with with Roland,
Yeah.
who was also top tier. And now I'm just playing Lucian, who is also top tier. So I guess I've just been following the tier list.
Is that something that you did when you played competitive Smash, or was that different?
No, I made a mid-tier character in Smash. I made like Samus in one game, Ivysaur in another. Just always mid-tiers, so I don't know. I guess the fact that everyone plays sort of similarly in this game made it so I was just like decided to just play high tiers, or who I thought was the best. Just because of the way the weapons work and everything is like, like guns have the same basic moveset on like Lucian and Thatch and Ada,
Yeah, it's not drastic differences like, Samus versus Zero Suit Samus versus UT or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I figured since everyone kind of played similarly in that regard, I might as well just play who I thought was the best,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Alright. I tried to catch it, no. The fake out. It's so hard to think and talk at the same time.
Yeah, people wonder why I
Play.
lose on stream all the time.
Yeah, this is hard. Guys, no, it's hard.
It's challenging, people. It's challenging. More people asking for keys. Oh, man.
That's good. Grow the scene, man.
That is good. If people who ask for keys, like, please don't ask if you already have one. And please take a look at my YouTube channel and Twitch, because I am trying to grow this to the point where I can get partnered so everything gets, like, better for people who are watching. So we could do things like variable stream sizes, as somebody pointed out earlier, for all of those people with, like, crappy internets. One day Brawlhalla will explode, and then, Ruin, you'll be famous, man.
Yeah, that's if I'm still, good at that point.
That is the
No.
question. So, what are your thoughts on the upcoming Minotaur character? How do you think that's going to affect everything?
There's going to be so many of him in ranked. It's probably going to be ridiculous for a minute, just because of the new character.
Do you think people are going to hop into ranked right away with him? Just as soon as they
man.
get the move set down, they're like, "Yep, Minotaur time."
I would hope so. I would hope it's good enough that people can just jump into ranked and play the axe. It depends on how the axe does against the other weapons. As long as it's not too slow to feel useless, I think there will be a lot of people playing the Minotaur. Just because it's new, it's fresh. Everyone wants to try new things.
Yeah.
I'm terrified. I won't do it. It's not going to be me, you guys. That's on you. Maybe one day.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna mess around with him a bunch on stream, of course, but like, nobody's really pointed out yet that I haven't really been playing a lot of ranked.
Yeah.
Like, I just hop on here and I play with people. Like, I laddered up until I got to 2, and then I stopped pretty much. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
If I get knocked down, I'll start laddering again.
I always stop. I get to the top 10, and then I just stop playing until I'm like 15, and then I jump back on and get to like 5 or 6 or something like that, and then just stop again and just play customs with people. The queue times are really long up there, so just kind of wait it out. So Nai is a character that when they talked about all those stat changes in the beginning for the patch, I thought Nai was going to be incredible because of the high attack and the high armor. And apparently I've really underestimated how important at least some speed was, because Nai is just not where I thought she would be at all.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had that prediction when they looked at the stats changes. But were you able to catch the dev stream last week and check out, or this week, and see the Nai specials?
Yeah, I saw her new special. They look great, and they look like they'll be really helpful. The movement on the guitars, forward heavy, was really good. I think one of the things they seem like they're doing with a lot of their specials is anti-airs. They have a lot of anti-airs coming in for every character.
I am a big fan of that, actually.
Yeah. So I know one of the things they wanted to do was put more emphasis on their ground game, so
Right.
they nerfed the air mobility, where I think it's fine where it was, or where it is now, I guess, because eventually all those movesets are going to really stop all of the air movement, just because of the threat that you can pose by just standing still. Like, Cassidy has all of her moves that, we talked about. Ada has her neutral spear, heavy, that spins around and just grabs people, basically.
Oh, yeah. I think that it's like, so long as... I think that the signature is the idea of building them out to prevent certain types of approaches. I think is really smart, because it adds this whole extra, like, strategic layer to the game and kind of allows you to play that kind of parry and wait method. I mean, that's the whole reason why I really like playing Cassidy, is just, because I have options. I can select the right move and win without having to, like, be aggressive or constantly be spamming.
Yeah. I think there was once I played against one of the people that I've been playing with a lot, Retax.
Yep.
And I was trying to prove a point in 1.7 that the way that the air movement was, combined with Cassidy's specials, the way they were, made it so you didn't have to move with Cassidy to win. And he didn't believe me at first, and then I beat him without moving, with just using heavies on Cassidy. And he started to believe me after that. Luckily, it got better when they added in the air movement again, so it's not an issue anymore.
Yeah.
They're still strong, but they're not overbearing like I thought they were.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's part of the reason why Cassidy is a really interesting character. And I mean, like, Ada kind of has that, but I feel like she's more of a keep-away character as opposed to, like,
Yeah.
her moves are a lot more mobile, so I feel like you have to be on the go a lot more with Ada. So you can get, like, the spacing correct and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. I'm really interested to see what the next batch of signatures are like beyond Nai. So
Yeah.
hopefully, I mean, at this rate of speed, hopefully we get another patch here in like 2 weeks.
I want to see the Hattori specials.
Yeah, that's gonna happen
Oh.
last.
Yeah.
No, it was funny because I was talking with one of the devs, and they were saying about how, like, they keep looking at Hattori because everyone plays Hattori. Like, apparently the play rate for Hattori is really high. Like,
Still?
even in this patch, even after all the nerfs and all the sword nerfs and all of the speed nerfs and all of the stuff to kind of like bring everything in line, everybody still plays Hattori. And I was like, dude, just make another ninja. It'll split the like Hattori player base in half. That's all people want to do is play the flippin' ninja.
Yeah, it's true.
And I honestly think that's like 50% of the reason why people play Hattori is because she's a ninja.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It's definitely a big draw. The thing is, like, I know when I started, everyone played Hattori. So I think some of that still carries over, where people played Hattori so much then that they still want to do it now. Even though Hattori's good, but she's not the best. Like, you can win with Hattori, it just takes a lot of work.
Dude, that's exactly how I feel about it. Like yesterday when I was playing you, I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
why is this taking so much effort?
Yeah.
Like, I am trying so hard right now to win.
And then I just shoot you a couple times, and we're even again. Like, that's what happens. So, I don't know. Hopefully they don't decide to take her down a notch because people play her. That'd be sad.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's interesting because, you know, part of me is like really hesitant to get too anal or angry about a lot of this balance stuff because we're in closed beta and they're constantly adding a bunch of new content. And I would rather have them add new content that's, you know, somewhat broken or off balance rather than not make new content. Like, 'cause new content is what keeps everybody playing and coming back, and it helps grow the community more so than having a perfectly balanced game. I think, at this point anyway, in closed beta. So I don't go on like the big old rampages about certain things as I should, but it's nice to be able to like talk about some of these things in a little bit more of a balanced mindset, so to speak.
Yeah. That's the thing. A lot of those specials that are coming out, I'm sure some of them are going to be a little underbalanced, like a little underpowered, like Fraxes, or, you know, like really strong. But it's just, like you said, closed beta, so that's what it's for. As long as we see new cool things keep coming out, then it'll be fine. And the devs are really active when they get feedback for stuff, so that's
totally
fantastic.
Like, that's, to be honest, a huge part of the reason why I kept on with this game was because I played it for like a week. I was like, oh, this game's really fun. And then all of a sudden there was a patch. And then all of a sudden there were like devs everywhere. I noticed for the first time I opened up the discussion forums, it's like dev post, dev post, dev post, dev post. Like, these guys are on top of listening to everyone, and they actually like value a lot of the feedback. The way that they implement the changes are sometimes a little random, but like the devs are really cool, and like that's a big part of why I'm still playing this, is just because how they're really a two-way street with a bunch of stuff. So
yeah, and they definitely pay attention to their ladder and the competitive community, because I had never talked to the devs really. And then I was on a stream playing in a tournament that someone that I know in real life was hosting. And Dinohedron was in there. And he was like, oh, why is Ruin in the tournament? Because it was a bunch of like newer players that were in the tournament. I just happened to know the person, so I was in it.
yeah.
And he thought I was sharking the tournament. He was just joking with me. But he knew who I was before I had ever really talked to him very much. So
Oh yeah, man. They
definitely pay attention. Yeah.
They're watching the community tournaments. They watch the leaderboards. They spectate. It's funny, like, you know, if you look at the rankings page right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. So you're number 11.
Oh, don't worry, I'll fix that later tonight, guys.
No, it's good. It's top 25, man. That's all that matters. So let's see. Wow, this has changed a lot in the last week. There's a lot of new people on here. That's pretty cool. So let's see. So BMG. So Blue Mammoth Games. They've got Redalus, who's at 31, and just below him is Chill Penguin at 42. And these guys, I was talking to Chill about it. I was like, so and he told me he had like specifically played all these games against Misfit just so he could get good enough to get to like this top 50 level so that he could help balance the game for this level.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
like,
That's really cool.
and like both of these guys were like into other competitive games before they started building it, you know. But like, I love the fact that that's something they actually like stopped to think about. Like, oh wait a minute, we need to up our skill levels so we can understand the balance at all these different ranges, and like, is it still fun at free for all for the filthy casuals? Is it still fun for the guys that, you know, who are trying to do the competitive 1v1? And so I just love like how deliberate their kind of like design approaches for this. I think it's
Yeah.
really awesome.
That is really cool. They can see all of the gun spam that was happening up here now too.
Yeah, they can check out that gun spam. Oh, here, are you? Can you get back in the room? There's something I wanted to test.
I'm not in the room. On my screen, I'm in the room. I've been in the room the whole time on my screen.
Custom.
I am.
I'll restart my Brawlhalla. I just thought we were just sitting on the lobby, just talking.
I thought we were too, but then you
Oh, yeah.
disappeared. Then you
I was-
disappeared.
Welcome.
Yeah,
to
on my game, I was
Brawlhalla.
just sitting there. All right.
I actually don't know the dev who's in the stream right now, unless it's somebody underneath a different name. But I believe XXFobXX is a dev. But I'm not familiar with that handle, so I haven't met all of them. I've met like Dynahedron and Tiverus, or however it's pronounced, Zeke, a couple other people.
Custom.
All right, but what I want to do is get in as Lucy, and I'll get in as Cassidy, and I want to, or not Cassidy. I need, yeah, that should work. I want to see if the hammer up grab beats
Cassidy.
the down light for the guns.
Okay.
And there's one other hammer problem that I'm interested in.
I think it does. I think it does beat that.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. Yeah. Oh, the pressure! I have to like time that perfectly now.
All right, Atomic Rob, as soon as I get a hammer, you will be able to see what the hammer looks like. It's a little weird at first, but it grows on you. It's got this whole like mother of pearl inlay. Not mother of pearl, but it's got this whole beautiful inlay thing. All right, so
So let me just jump above you and just. Up. Yeah.
okay, so that's like the one thing that's reliably, well, timing off there.
Yeah. That was the other ones. You. It was about to come out and you did stuff with. So. Yep.
Yeah, I hear the sound going off. All right, well that's something at least.
Yeah. That was one thing. Oh.
Wow, timing on that one. Yeah,
That
I think
can just.
I really like the hammer improvements that they've done over the last 2 patches. Like, they brought in the air tilt just a little bit, but like the standing neutral. Oh, here's one of the other things I wanted to test. It's kind of going to be hard on Lucian. But one of the things that I've noticed is that the hammer grabs don't get stopped by item tosses.
Oh really?
Yeah, so like if you jump up and you toss your item as I'm in mid-hammer animation, I get hit and I'll flash, but the whole hammer action still goes through, and I'm not sure if that's intended or not.
Okay.
Yeah, see?
Okay, yeah,
You get
yeah.
the hit, you lose your weapon,
Yeah.
but you still get the damage. That was
That one I just didn't do.
a little slow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did. Okay.
That
That's
has,
interesting. I didn't know that.
that has frustrated me to no end.
All right. New strategies. I don't go near hammers when they're in a position to use that for the most part. So I didn't. There's a lot of things I don't know about that grab. I'm just so scared of it that I just.
The
I stay
grabs
away.
are phenomenal. It's the highest priority move in the game, especially since it beats the guns downlight.
It's-
The problem is actually getting it to line up like in a match.
Yeah. Well, what a lot of hammer players do is they'll be right here
Yeah.
in this area, and then they just wait for you to try to like that,
Yeah.
and then they wait for you to try to get them off of the ledge, and then just grab you with it. So you have to be really careful with how you play around that.
But see, that's what I really like about the hammer. Like, I feel like, and like why I like the guitars as well, because both of them clearly have these kind of spaces in which they always win, right?
Yeah.
Like, and this was the argument why I was saying why I think the sword is kind of an inferior weapon right now, is because the sword used to be the best option for when you were grounded. Like when you were grounded and up close, the sword was a great option, especially if you were at like this distance, right?
Yeah.
The sword was phenomenal, but now the sword doesn't win in that situation anymore. It loses to spears and to katars.
Right. Katars. They're so good up close. Just that move over
Yeah.
and over.
Incredibly good. That's part of the reason why I'm still kind of salty about the sword versions. It used to be like if you wanted to play a good ground game and you wanted to kind of like play more of a like bait and punish kind of style, you could do that with swords so well, but now they're just like too slowed down to make it work.
Yeah. Well, swords are the best now if you have an advantage, if you make them air dodge and you predict it, and you can keep up. Like it's like a rush down now. It's not a bait and punish. It's not a grounded game. It's a rush down.
With swords?
Yeah. As soon as you get a hit, it's just you have to keep applying the pressure and keep the pressure up.
Yeah.
And that's what they're good at now.
2,
It's a different style, I guess, than just standing still and trying to punish like that.
Yeah.
But it's still, I think it's still effective. It's just a slightly different play style than you're used to. Is what it seems like. Because, like I said, I never played when they were that good at the ground or anything like that. So my information on the sword is all like the new style sword, I guess. So.
Yeah, it's something I think the problem with that idea though, where like the sword is a rushdown weapon, and just saying like the sword is good for rushdown, is that's part of why Thatch is so awful, because he doesn't have the stats to support the rushdown.
That's true. Him and Roland can't
Him and Roland
really
can't
do it either. Yeah,
can't do it, right? Now on
Yeah.
Vittori it'll work, right? Like
that's true. Yeah,
95% of the time. But you know, with the other sword characters, like even with Bodvar, you can't rush. You have to play a little bit more of a conservative game.
Yeah.
And like he has the hammer to help him out with that, I think.
yeah.
But for me, like that's a big part of why Thatch is so bad, because his attack speed just doesn't support the weapons that he has. Like he can't do some of the churn, like some of the churn attacks like Ada and Cassidy can do with guns, because his just come out too slow. Like you know how like if you catch somebody, here let's demonstrate with Thatch. We'll do minty green, Fannie Mae candy fresh, Thatch.
All right.
Do I have this set to time? What's going on?
Yeah.
It's like new room.
Yeah,
Change
I guess
the rules.
whenever I think of sword, I guess since I played Hattori so much, and Hattori is like my favorite character right now, and the one that I played the most to get to where I am rank wise. When someone says sword, I immediately think of just playing Hattori and the way I can play with her swords, I guess. So it's a fair argument to say that Thatch can't do it and Bodvar can't do it. So
Oh man, yeah, because I think the other thing that attack speed, one of the big things that's been throwing me off is with the most recent patch, and this is probably unique to me because I've just been playing the game for too long, is the cooldown that they've added between moves. So there's a lot more recovery frames than there used to be, and like the standing neutral is probably like a really good example, because it used to be that you could just have this like flurry of swords going constantly without any pause in between,
yeah,
and they changed that. But because of that, like some of the moves that you can do afterwards are now reliant on attack speed. So your recovery frames and your startup frames seem to be affected by attack speed now, which means that like some follow-ups just aren't quite as possible for characters with lower attack speed now. Which is funny because that almost makes like Hattori better in some ways than she used to be. But I think she's still like negatively affected by it overall, because it's still a slower state than how she used to play.
yeah. Well, the sword one I feel like was because it was so fast before, and it had like a back hitbox that you could just trap somebody in for like 8 slashes. That's why that needed to get changed.
I missed the back hitbox. That's part of what made it so great.
Yeah, but you could just spam it, and then they got stuck, and they couldn't do anything about
Yeah,
it.
but it didn't used to be dive kicks before. Then they changed it, and now apparently I want to test this. Come in for a dive kick. Because Compton claimed that this beats out dive kicks now, but I think he's on crack, so...
Yeah, that's not beating out anything.
Well, maybe I'm just timing this wrong. Nope, that was on reaction.
Yeah. That one I was... if it worked anywhere, it would have worked that other.
Yeah. It's bad. Alright, so... Yeah. And here, check this out. So if we're stacked up on top of each other, do the hammer neutral, facing the other direction.
Oh, my bad.
Because I'm pretty sure that the hammer neutral actually will pick up characters behind it now, even though the sword one doesn't.
Yeah.
So let's try this out.
Stand this way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful, dude. It's so good.
Yeah.
And yet, so for some reason, that's unacceptable with the sword neutral. Like, for some reason, that's just not a good idea for the swords. Even though the sword... Alright, so here we go. Alright, so... Right? Completely misses you.
Oh, man. I didn't know that.
Hammer time. Oh my god! So OP.
Yeah.
Alright.
The hammer jabs are really good. Or the kicks, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Rayosin is asking, besides Cassidy and Lucian, what are some other good characters?
Okay, Scarlet, if
If you can play like Potts.
you can play like Potts, yeah, Scarlet is incredible.
Hattori is still really good, despite me ragging on Hattori. Like, Hattori is still a great character.
Yeah.
Ada's top tier, in my opinion. Bodvar is incredibly solid because of the hammer and his sword grab. Like, those two moves alone make him godly, I think.
Yeah, Bodvar is solid. I mean, at this point, like, unless you want to be like that, oh wow, like a tier, you know what I mean? Just play the best. Then any character can really do it. Don't play Thatcher Nye or Vrax. But other than that, I mean, anyone can win with like almost the same amount of work, pretty much. That's the way I think about it, anyways. Like everyone can win. It's just some characters have a harder time. Like Thatch has a lot of issues. Nye's really slow.
Yeah. It's just the amount of work that you got to put into it.
Yeah, basically.
Although I am after like the tournament results and some more play on this patch, I am actually thinking about putting Lucian in S tier right now.
I would agree with that. I mean, there were things that I couldn't deal with in ranked that I switched to Lucian and then didn't have an issue beating, basically. I played Hattori before and switched to Lucian, and like everything that I had trouble with on Hattori, it just went away with Lucian. So.
So Bob is saying something funny. Dan is saying something funny about it. Until the characters are in the same tier, the devs have failed. Well, the thing is like I actually think that's really bad design philosophy. Like, I think that the goal should not be to have a tier list where everybody's the same, because that makes the game bland. Like, there has to be bad characters in order for there to be good characters.
Yeah.
But the way that I think about that is that you should have characters that always have either situations in which they're very strong or matchups in which they're very strong. Like, that's kind of how I like my fighting games to be balanced. Like, I think a lot about more so like matchup charts than anything else. Like, going back to Street Fighter, because that's a game I have a fair amount of experience with. It's like, Gouken is like one of the characters that I main, and he's largely considered like a low A tier, high B tier character in this iteration.
Okay.
Like, he's fairly middle ground because he doesn't have like these amazing damage conversions other people do. He largely relies on like big punishes and some other things. So like, he's not top tier by any stretch of the imagination, but he is incredibly good against grapplers because he has a tool set that lets him play really, really effectively against anybody with a tall hitbox. Because he throws diagonal fireballs. So like, in most matches he goes 4 wins out of 10, but against grapplers he can go 6 wins out of 10 on the regular. Like, to me, that's better balance, because that makes that character more interesting and dynamic than just trying to like have everybody be completely even across the board.
Yeah. To have everyone completely even, you need to have a cast that is pretty much the same, you know?
Yeah.
That way there's no little thing that someone can be better than.
Yeah,
That's
and
something else.
I just don't think it doesn't make it interesting. And I think too the thing that I would really like to see is stuff where, like, instead of giving Nye, like Nye is, let's just take Nye as an example, right? Instead of giving Nye these like moves that make her really good as a 1v1 character, like giving her an anti-air, giving her more like forward momentum, and that kind of stuff, like.
Okay.
Instead of giving her, 1v1 type things, like, why not just give her, like, she has crappy momentum and mobility. Why not just give her, like, giant specials that will make her stupidly fun for free-for-all, right? Like, stuff that's multi-hitting, that has really wide and generous hitboxes on either side, that comes out slow, but feels awesome when you can land it in a free-for-all scenario. Because then she's really fun for free-for-all, and even in like 2v2s, like, she becomes more viable, but she's still a bad 1v1 character. I think that would make her more interesting, and it wouldn't, like, affect the rest of the 1v1 balance so much. Because I don't think like every character has to be 1v1 viable. I think that, you could build this out in such a way where you had characters more designed for 2v2 or 1v1 respectively. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, making them better in like certain scenarios is definitely something that it would makes things more interesting. Especially because you're always going to have those people that try to find a way to make them work in 1v1.
Right.
You know?
Right.
No matter what you do, someone's going to make it work, and it's when they make it work, it's going to just like it'll look amazing because they're using all these things that aren't meant for it.
Yeah.
And it definitely adds a little bit more like flavor to all of the characters instead of having everyone just be 1v1 with like, their anti-dive kick option and all that stuff. Just makes it more fun, I guess. And then, you always need a character that's so bad that it's, funny to play.
Yeah, you need a Dan.
Keep it with. Yeah, exactly.
you need a Dan. Not the Dan that's in chat, or me, because my name is also Dan, but Dan from Street Fighter, Dan. So one of the other things I've noticed with the retooled hitboxes in this version is that basically now, like, every down heavy beats out recovery moves and uppercuts. It didn't always used to be that way, but it seems like they've gotten to a pretty good level of consistency now where down heavies, the ground pounds, the air ground pounds like this one, will just win if it connects. I'm not sure if I like that or not. Why do you think they made it that way?
Well, so you don't get gimped every time you're trying to recover, basically. That's the only reason I can see for it. Some of them still can win out. Like the spear one still has the hitbox in the middle that's still very vulnerable. The unarmed matters on like the angle you use the up heavy at, basically, because you could use it on the left or the right side. And if you pick the correct side, like, it'll actually still beat out the dive kick.
I've been able to get that to happen once in like 12
Okay,
matches.
so if you're on the wall, right, and you hold toward the wall and just hit B, you see how mine, like, it goes the other way, and it covers your hurt box entirely. That's a really good way to beat out the kick, because you're basically not exposing yourself at all.
All right, so come over here and try to ground pound me, because I want to see if this works.
Okay.
Oh, I messed up the timing there because I'm terrible, but
Still gotta time it. It's not free.
But I want it to be free. Okay. Oh, interesting. I learned something new. Dude, I can go back in a rank now and like get to 1. If I play Lucian.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
Let's be real here. That kill, for instance, that was an accident. I just hit heavy by accident. Because this comes out like almost as fast as everything else now.
The down heavy, that blocks dive kicks. That's his anti-dive kick option.
Yeah, it's
He doesn't
fantastic.
need to do specials. He doesn't need to do specials.
Totally doesn't.
He got the old ones, no problem. Oh no.
Whoa, a little bit of lag right there for me.
Oh, okay. I thought I had a good special.
No. No, Ruin. God, you're terrible, number 11.
Oh my goodness. Make that hit when they're in red, please.
That was actually my favorite thing in my match against Kreutzberg was he got one of those up heavies with the pistols. Like, basically at the very top left edge of the screen. It was like the most amazing thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah. So yeah, every character needs like a small area that it can excel in. It doesn't always have to be 1v1. I don't think balancing a game for just 1v1 makes it super like interesting. You know what I mean? Like yeah, it'll be really competitive, but
You gotta balance it for fun, though.
yeah, it still needs to be fun when you go in and do free for alls and stuff like that. So that's something like the devs always have to keep in mind. I think whenever they're making changes to everything.
Yeah, and I think honestly, like, they do ask those questions. I think they do ask, like, is this still fun? And like, I think that's a lot of why they've changed some of the things they've changed, because they're like, you know, tilt spam, not fun.
Yeah.
You know, getting locked up in the sword for half an hour, also not fun. So it's kind of like, it's the, it's funny because it's, you know, competitive game balance, I think, is probably one of the single most challenging things to do as a game designer. You know, because you can't just be like, yes, I've written this epic tale, and now you will enjoy it in the one way it's meant to be experienced. You know, like, people are constantly going to be screwing with your game and figuring stuff out. Get out of here with your ground pound combos. I see you trying to be Pots. You even went yellow.
I know, I'm trying to be Pots. I told him he was my new hero, and I'm gonna try to pick up Scarlet and play it like he does.
Dude, we should all just pick up Scarlet until and play like Pots.
I can't do it.
Dude, just wait until my fight stick gets put in.
Oh my goodness.
They asked, because they were like, we've never seen this. I think it's the first request they had for fight sticks. So they were like, you should probably give us like what you want for your key bindings. So I put throw right next to light.
Oh really?
So I'll basically be able to like piano key throws. It'll be awesome. I'm very excited.
Oh, you grabbed it. I wanted it.
I'm right. Ow. I think one of the other things that's really, like, I've had, like, a misservice done to me by playing Misfits so much is, that I'm really used to people dodging, and now people are attacking more. Because the dodge has been kind of nerfed. So, I don't know.
How does Pots do this?
He throws more weapons. You're not throwing enough.
Oh, my goodness. Alright, I got it. Yeah, Misfit dodges all the time.
Oh, great.
Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Alright, Lesma 6. I'm not really making people apply, I'm just kind of giving them out to people when they follow, so if you follow, I will toss you a key. Because anybody, in my opinion, who is like enterprising enough to be like, you know, I'll go on Twitch and I'll see if someone in a beta game will give me a key, like, that's enough work. And I have like so many, and I don't know what to do with them all. I asked the devs for keys, and they sent me like 3 pages worth.
Oh, jeez. That's where all the keys are.
I should
That's
probably
why people
save
keep
some for
asking.
that tournament that I'm supposed to be casting. Like,
Almost.
a week.
Oh, there's a tournament in a week? What?
There's one on the 18th that the Holy Pale is putting together.
Oh, right, okay.
So not next weekend, the weekend after that.
Alright.
You're not throwing enough.
Yeah, I know. It's not in my nature. That's not how I...
It's not my nature either, because it's difficult to angle your throws as a as a pad player. That's basically the only reason why I'm switching to a fight stick, because it's hard to angle the throws in like the diagonal directions.
I thought you were gonna throw it at me. Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Yeah. So shoutouts to Potts. He's
For like
Anywhere.
inventing the all new
yeah.
the all new style invention.
for being able to play like that. Way better than I can.
The Holy Pale, if you're still in here, people are asking for the link to the tournament. You should send them that. I've got people asking for keys, so I'm going to do that. But before that, I'm going to ask Ruin some other question. Man, so like, when you go into ranked, I'm kind of curious about this. What's your mindset going in, like, and how frequently are you playing right now?
Okay, so when I queue up, I'm always 100% sure I'm gonna win, right? Even though obviously that's not the case. I don't have some magic no loss record, but no matter who I see at the other end, whether it be like you or somebody, somebody else, I'm always like, okay, I just have to win this, and I always think I have a chance and that I can win as long as I play solid. I never see like rank 1 misfit and go, well, there goes that game,
Yeah.
I'm always sure that I can win. And even when I was still climbing, it's not like I'm that confident now. I was that confident when I picked up the game. I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm the best hammer player in the world. My first
like
week,
you're right off the bat.
yeah, like
Just
I was joking, but like in my head I thought like, hey, I'm pretty sure I'm solid at this at least. So I thought I could win matches. Even
Man,
then.
I came from the Smash Brothers community. You know how complex that game is? There's like Twitch dashing and stuff. Man, same got shit on this.
Yeah, so that's always my mindset in a competitive game, is that I always can win if I play good enough, and it's always like that. I don't play as much ranked as I did. I basically play enough to stay in the top 10, or around it at least. Obviously, I'm 11 right now, so that didn't work out too well.
Well, have you found like that being part of Jotunheimer, and then also being part of this like Twitch community of people who are watching streams and stuff, like, do you find yourself playing more custom games now, and like, or is it around the same amount? Like, how do you get most of your playtime in?
Oh, I play tons of custom games. I play with basically people ask me, like, I have a couple people who are in bronze or silver who I play with just because they asked me, so I play with them. I play a lot with like the Jotunheimer people or whatever, like Misfit and Pots and Pans and Keelig, just any one of those guys at the time.
Frickin' Pots and Pans, man.
Scarlet.
I had to play against him a lot because it was so unorthodox that
Yeah.
I just had to do it anyway. And then I've been playing with Retax since I picked up this game. So anytime that me and him are on, I'm usually playing against Retax just because of I was a really good friend of his before we started playing. So
Nice.
and he's still pretty good, So
Did you guys play
good-
Smash
good
together
practice.
as well, or?
no. We've played. I've met him playing WoW, I think. So
Nice.
I always get random indie games off of Steam and tell him to play with me. Just random games. Usually they're not, great. Sometimes we get something like this where it's just amazing. So
Nice.
we've been playing a lot together on this.
Yeah, no, it's cool too, because I think you guys must have started playing right around the time that I started streaming, because I remember both of you guys like in my stream pretty early on.
Brawl.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know you had just started streaming, but yeah.
I did. It was largely out of like laziness more so than anything else. Where
So
I
we.
was
I was gonna say that basically the weekend of the first 2v2 tournament that me and him entered together was like we started playing earlier that week, and I signed us both up for a tournament.
nice.
Yeah.
You will play with me, Retax, and you will play in this tournament.
Yeah, he was like, we're gonna get destroyed, and I was like, no, I got this. I'll just carry you.
Oh, it was the 2v2 tournament, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that because I think that was the one that I casted where I was like, I don't know how good these guys are, but I know I watch my stream, so I'm gonna root for them.
Yeah. I think we ended up taking our first match then.
Yeah, I think,
So,
you
it worked
you guys
out.
did. It's good stuff.
And then we played UN Compton.
Yeah. And
That one didn't go as
we,
well.
we slaughtered. It was fun. Well, because I think there are a couple of things that are just like kind of Brawlhalla unique that you kind of got to get used to. Like the item throwing emphasis, for instance, is a big one. Oh, and that stuff.
Yeah.
It's so hard to recover now.
Yeah. Well, you used your dodge really early, and I know you didn't have it. So I just threw it out. It was guaranteed.
Ruin. Ruin.
You got to pay attention to
Giving
oh
away
my
these
goodness.
secrets, man. Giving away these secrets.
Everyone has to learn how to edge guard, man. If you see someone use an option as strong as dodge early, just punish them for it. Just throw the weapon. They can't. What are they gonna